When we come with that heat, we got skip on the.
Welcome in episode 44, $1 Million Radio. It is the logo episode. Jerry West, Pistol Pete Maravich, Jacob.
Those are two different people.
Yeah, it's just, collectively 44, I guess.
Brian Scalabrine, he's also 44.
Yeah, and he'll also dog anybody on an open court, by the way. I think we've learned that before.
He will.
He has the famous quote, "I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me."
Another notable mention is George Gervin.
He's a
Hall of Famer.
Georgie G, yeah.
A lot to. Can't believe we made 44 episodes.
I know, dude. After episode 4, I was like, no, this ain't gonna last much longer.
For real?
No, not actually. I knew we'd stick with it. Yeah, a lot to go over, Jacob, in this episode. We Tennessee another win, 5-1, 2-1 in the SEC now. Got a big matchup, third Saturday in October, in Tuscaloosa this weekend. I will be heading home to Martin to celebrate my little niece Chase's first birthday. And so we'll be sitting with the family watching that one at their house. So that'll be fun. But what are your kind of just opening thoughts for this weekend in football, Jacob?
I'm going to tie it into our performance last week because versus Arkansas, I felt like our defense was getting crushed on every possession. It seemed like no matter what we were throwing at them, Taylen Green was running, scrambling, breaking the pocket, and then getting a first down every time. Felt like there was a bunch of holes, Swiss cheese, in the coverage. And I just hope that was us overlooking Arkansas, considering they're not amazing. I'm hoping that was us overlooking, and that's actually not how our defense is going to look like in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I hope so. It was a game where, we're tied at 17 at halftime, and then we come out, score 17 unanswered points, don't score again, and allow Arkansas to get back in the game. And Tennessee pulls off a win, I should say, 34-31 against Arkansas on Saturday evening. Tennessee, I don't know if this is a Tennessee thing or a Josh Heupel thing, but we seem to struggle coming off a bye week. And that's what happened last year when we made the trip to Arkansas and ended up losing that game, running out of bounds on the last play of the game. But as far as the game goes, Tennessee a 3-point win in Neyland. Joey Aguilar was 16-25, 221 yards passing, and a touchdown. Also carried the ball 5 times for 59 yards. DeSean Bishop led the backfield, 14 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown. That's a 10.4 yard per carry average. You can't get much better than that. But he did end up leaving the game with an injury. You said you had an update on that for DeSean Bishop?
Yeah, Heupel had an interview this morning. He said he feels like Bishop will be ready to go for Saturday. So let's hope that's the case as we lead up to the game, but it's looking good so far.
Braylon Staley led the Vols in the receiving game, 6 catches, 109 yards. That's 18.2 yards per catch. As we've mentioned, Taylen Green kept Arkansas in this one. He's a very dynamic quarterback. He showed it against us last year before he left the game. He's had a decent year just on a undecent team, I guess you could say. Indecent, yeah. But yeah, Arkansas was also coming off a bye week as well. They just fired Sam Pittman a couple weeks ago, and it was Bobby Petrino coming in as the interim coach. So a lot of times we also see where a coach gets fired and the team kind of rallies together and performs pretty well for the next week or two. And Arkansas, like I said, tied at halftime. Tennessee came out, looked very good in the second half before we kind of just let Arkansas creep back in and made it a lot closer than what it should have been. but I'll take the win any day.
It was the final score was a lot closer than really what it was. I mean, it was 17-34 at one point. So I mean, you still didn't feel comfortable at the end, but also you felt like, well, if we should get the first down, we'll be good.
Yeah.
But that means you're a few plays away from potentially giving the ball back to Arkansas, and then you're having to stress, and your defense hasn't been good the whole night, so.
Yeah, Taylen Green finished 21 of 31, 256 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, also 17 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. As you said, Jacob, he was able to keep plays alive. He was able to scramble in the backfield, break a couple tackles. Seemed like no matter, whenever Arkansas in the first half and in that late second half push that they made, it seemed like it was third and whatever, Taylen Green was going to pick it up. We had no answer for him. Also, defensively, we let up 131 yards to Mike Washington Jr. on 19 carries. He also found the end zone once. Tennessee let up 256 passing yards, 240 yards rushing. That's 4 yards short of 500 total yards allowed. Can't have that this weekend, Jacob.
Yeah, no, I agree. It just seemed like every third down, like you'd said, literally we would drop back and there would still somehow be a hole right in the middle of the field where he'd put it. And it wasn't even like the most contested catch or anything. The tight end would be wide open and he'd get it, or somehow Green would go on the sideline and tiptoe his way past the third down marker, even after being chased. Like there was one in the red zone. It was pretty egregious where no one cut him off on the sideline. Literally we all chased after him instead of going on this, cutting him off. So stuff like that, you're definitely have to clean up. Versus Ty Simpson, who's on fire right now. If our defense plays like how it did, Ty Simpson will pick us apart.
Yeah, he does that very well. Ty's also very, very good. One of the best when it comes to third down and fourth down conversions. Let's pull up these Heisman odds. Ty is...
He's the top right now, I think.
Well, I'm checking the Blue Sports Book app, and I see Carson Beck at plus 320 leading the way. Ty Simpson right behind him at plus 340. And then Fernando Mendoza from Indiana plus 430. I've got a lot of friends that back in the summertime they put a Ty Simpson Heisman winner ticket in, and it's looking very good for them right now.
I wonder what the odds were when it first started out.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I'll have to go ask, but Ty's had a great year. Love to see it from him. Hopefully this game he struggles a little bit, but we'll see what happens on Saturday night. Not only were the Vols fighting the Razorbacks this weekend, they were also fighting the Zebras. It seemed like all the penalties were going Arkansas's way. Thinking back to a time where there was a egregious pass interference that wasn't called. And then there was also a time where we were on offense. Arkansas jumped into the neutral zone. Our offensive line reacted to it, and it was a false start on us somehow. We've seen that time and time again where it's always...
Apple was furious.
Yeah. We've seen it time and time again where that gets called on the defense 9 times out of 10, and I guess this was the 10th one in that instance. So, but yeah, Tennessee, honestly, I don't like to say... I don't want to say we were lucky coming out of there, but we were lucky coming out of Neyland with a win on Saturday. What was it? 13.5 point favorites for Tennessee. Did not cover, but did get the win. Arkansas with that late push there towards the end. But we got some stats, and I know we've let up a lot of yards here recently, and we can't afford to let that up this weekend in Tuscaloosa. But our defense does rank number 1 in sacks, number 1 in forced fumbles, number 2 in fumble recoveries and defensive touchdowns, and number 5 in tackles for loss. So even if we are letting up some yards, like we're putting that pressure on defensively still, and I like that. Our offense is number 1 in scoring offense, number 2 in tackles for loss allowed, number 3 in first downs, number 4 in the nation in total offense, number 7 in passing offense, number 8 in sacks allowed, and number 10 in explosive plays. So offensively in the top 10 in all those categories, defensively top 5 in all those categories that I mentioned, number 1 in sacks, number 1 in forced fumbles. So whether or not we let up some yards here and there, we seem to keep that pressure on defensively. That's something I like to see, and we're gonna need that this weekend in Tuscaloosa.
Just didn't pass the eye test this week.
Yeah, we were just sluggish, man. We were just sluggish.
Yeah, like I said, obviously all those stats are there, everything's there. But it may have just been us overlooking, or we're about to find out if our defense is really that bad or not. So
yeah, and hopefully they're not that bad. And we need to look and see if Jermod McCoy is going to be coming back, or maybe they just
he's probably out for the season.
Send him to the pros at this point. He would have another year of eligibility, at least maybe 2 if he wanted to stay. I don't think he would be looking to get drafted after sitting out this whole year. So maybe we'll see him either this season or maybe next season. But yeah,
he needs to redshirt. As a Tennessee fan, I would want him to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that has hurt our defense a lot. And the name is escaping me. Who's the other cornerback that we lost?
Ricky Gibson.
Week 1? Yeah, Ricky Gibson. He hadn't come back yet either. So we're gonna need our secondary to step up this week against Ty Simpson, Ryan Williams, and company in Tuscaloosa Saturday night.
Colton Hood's been pretty good.
Colton Hood, he's a stud, but he's also so young that he makes those mistakes. That inexperience comes to bite him every now and then. But moving on from that Tennessee win, hey, shout out to the Vols. We got the win. All right. But Alabama also got a win in Columbia, Missouri. The line was Alabama -3.5. They won by 3, so a slight cover for the Missouri Tigers, 27-24 win for Alabama. Ty Simpson, 23 of 31, an even 200 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, Jam Miller, 20 carries, 85 yards, although he did leave in the fourth quarter with a concussion, so he will be questionable Saturday night. And as a Tennessee fan, hopefully, he takes the week off and, tries to recover, because that's not something to joke about, obviously. You don't want any head injuries or anything like that, because that can get pretty scary, especially as big of a running back as he is and as powerful as he is. You don't want to just be throwing yourself back into collisions at the line of scrimmage like that a week removed from a concussion. Alabama's defense did look pretty good against Missouri, who was basically, they were undefeated, but they were playing their first big game in my eyes. They defeated South Carolina, but other than that, they haven't really been tested by anybody. Alabama's defense let up 167 yards passing, 163 yards rushing, so they looked pretty good as well. Did you get to watch that one, Jacob?
I did, yes. I honestly, I was not, and I'm still not a Missouri believer. I never thought that they were going to win, so I was not shocked by the outcome. That first drive was really good by them, but it just seemed afterwards Alabama had complete control of the game. So that's all I have to say about it. I never thought Missouri would win.
Yeah, so another big win for Alabama, and they've had a very tough schedule here lately, and it's going to be capped off. They still got to play South Carolina, but it's going to be really capped off this week with Tennessee at home for Alabama. But they started off with the road win against Georgia, and then the home victory against Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago, and then had to go back on the road to Missouri. And they've been checking all the boxes. They've been able to be victorious in all these games. My dad...
That Florida State loss looks worse and worse, though.
Yeah, but it's the first game. You know, you never know what's going to happen in the first game, especially in an environment like that. But my dad did make a good point. He was talking to me before that game, and he said something to the fact that this is the game where Alabama will lose because they're about to play us. They're going to lose the week before they play us, and then they're going to, take care of Tennessee pretty handedly. But we've seen that happen before a couple times for sure. But Alabama did win, so maybe that gives us a better chance this weekend. Who knows? Other scores from college football week 7 as we take a look at the scoreboard. Ohio State over Illinois 34-16. That line was 14.5 for Ohio State, and I took Illinois in that one to cover.
They're not a great team, bro. Why would you take Illinois?
Yeah, I thought it'd be closer than that, and I mean, I think the score doesn't really show. It shows that the game was a little bit closer than it actually was. Ohio State definitely took care of business in that one. Indiana picks up their first top 5 win on the road in program history, 30-20 over Oregon. What do you think about that one? Kirk Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers, Jacob.
Dude, they looked awesome.
Are they the real deal?
I think so. I think so. I mean, they were just tougher than Oregon, man. Literally, that's what it came down to: execution and toughness. And Kurt Cignetti, he's got that team going. So
yeah, and he's only in his second year with Indiana too, which I think is super impressive. Turn that program around,
especially with like when you look at the James Franklin situation. Yeah. It's like James Franklin's been there over a decade.
2014.
So Kurt Cignetti's in his second year, and he's already doing stuff that, I mean, James Franklin would have loved to beat Oregon,
Yeah.
He'd love to beat Ohio State. Now, Indiana's not done that yet, but regardless, that is a huge win for them. So
yeah, absolutely. And it was pretty convincing, too. I mean, a 10-point win in Eugene, Oregon, but we'll get to Penn State here in just a minute. Ole Miss escaped Oxford with a win. They were 22.5-point favorites over Washington State. They win 24-21.
We beat an SEC team escaping by 3 points. They escaped a Pac-12 team that is one of the 2 teams in the conference.
Yeah. We'll get to. I'll bring it back to Ole Miss here in just a second. Texas A&M over Florida, 34-17. Pretty convincing win at home, Kyle Field for the Aggies.
Did you get a lot closer?
You thought so? I thought so too. The line was, I think, 7.5 in that one, and Texas A&M with a convincing win against a pretty good Florida team. I know their record doesn't really show it. But defensively, they're a very good team, and Texas A&M offensively is I think becoming the real deal. I haven't really thought that over the last couple years, but Marcel Reed's got those boys in tune with each other. So
I didn't end up watching that one. I ended up watching the Georgia-Auburn game.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that one as well. So Jacob, the AP poll is out. Not much has changed. Texas A&M and Ole Miss swapped at 4 and 5. Now Texas A&M is 4, Ole Miss is 5. Do you think Ole Miss is the real deal? I mean, they're undefeated 6-0, but you think about the game with Washington State this weekend. You think about the narrow victory over Kentucky a few weeks ago. They're undefeated, but I'm buying more stock into the Texas A&M Aggies right now than the Ole Miss Rebels. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I agree with that, and we'll really see next week. I mean, if Ole Miss can pull off a good win over Georgia, then it's like, well,
they've
established themselves. But sometimes a bad team just comes in and has a unique game plan. I'm not sure if that was the case, if they threw stuff that Ole Miss wasn't expecting, but I mean, you can't deny Ole Miss is more talented than all those teams and stuff. But regardless, man, I mean, they barely escaped Washington State. You know, that's not a position you want to be in. You want to have a convincing win at home.
Yeah.
So it's going to really depend on this next coming week. Do I think they're the 5th best team in the country? No, I don't. I personally don't think so.
Do you think Texas A&M is the 4th best?
No. I mean, I don't. But I feel like those two teams up until this point, it is for them to lose. They are undefeated. So
yeah,
you know,
I agree.
And Georgia
with that.
Tech. I'm looking at Georgia Tech. They're 6-0 too. I like Georgia Tech. I'm a big Haynes King guy. So
yeah. Red River. Oh gosh, here we go. Red River rivalry. Texas over Oklahoma, 23-6 in Dallas. What'd you see in that one? Because I mean, it was 3-0 Oklahoma, and then Texas tied it up, and then it was 6-3 Oklahoma, and then Texas with 20 unanswered points to win by 17 in that game.
Yeah, I feel like Arch was protected pretty well compared to what he has been dealing with from his O-line in the past few games. This one, it felt like he was doing just fine. He felt comfortable. And honestly, if you're John Mateer in Oklahoma, yes, he returned, but I feel like they may have rushed it. And I called him returning. I heard it online, that's why I called it. But I mean, he threw 3 interceptions. Like, do you think he rushed it? I mean, just a few weeks ago, we were having Heisman conversations about him, and that now he comes out to a rivalry game and throws 3 picks. I don't know.
Yeah. So. It's possible. It's possible that they rushed that, but if he's good to go, if he thinks he can perform, I mean, that's your guy. You know, you got to let him at least try. A very controversial game Saturday night in Auburn, Alabama. Georgia 20, Auburn 10. A 10-point win for the Bulldogs on the road. Like we said, they host Ole Miss this upcoming week. You said you watched that one, right?
It felt like the longest game ever.
So Auburn is on the goal line, and Jackson Arnold, it looked like a tush push, okay? They lined up in the tush push formation. Jackson Arnold jumps over the line. It gets ruled a fumble on the goal line, but replay showed that the ball crossed the goal line, and before he lost control of it. And then the Georgia guy gets the fumble. Georgia player runs it all the way back for a touchdown. But the call on the field after review was that Georgia got the fumble and they just got the ball back on the goal line. It wasn't an Auburn touchdown. It wasn't a Georgia touchdown. Maybe the whistle blew and that's why they called the play dead and wasn't a Georgia touchdown the other way. But I don't understand how you, first of all, call it a fumble live, and then second of all, go through the whole replay process. You see that the ball is over the goal line before he fumbles, and you still rule it a fumble. I don't know. Do you kind of see it the same way I did?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought it was a touchdown. I thought it crossed the line and he had control before he lost control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And considering they took like 45 minutes to review it, I thought they would have come back with that same thing, but they saw something different. It is what it is. It's not necessarily on the refs that Auburn didn't score in the second half. Do I think that they were affected by that? Absolutely. I think at that point that's when they kind of lost the game. You know,
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, it's 10-0 Georgia. Or you're beating Georgia 10-0, and you're about to punch it in. You get a controversial penalty, and now the whole wind is just sucked out of the stadium. There's no momentum. There's nothing to do. And then you have the Georgia players, Gunnar Stockton, Kirby Smart calling a timeout and then lying about it.
Yeah, that is the thing that really irritated me for sure. He said that. Hold on, I'm kind of working through some moving parts right now. He said that he called the timeout. He did the whole motion, and you could read his lips. He was saying timeout, And then whenever they granted him the timeout, as the play clock was expiring, Gunnar Stockton jumping around, waving his hands, trying to get the ball to be snapped. As the play clock was expiring, hitting 0, Kirby calls a timeout and then goes up to the ref and just begs for the timeout back because he says Auburn was clapping at the line of scrimmage trying to signify the snap count. So, first of all, if that was true, Auburn can't be doing that. But 2, you can't just call a timeout as the play clock expires and then whine about it until you get the timeout back. Like that's not how that works, right? Am I missing something in this?
I mean, he claimed, like you said, he claimed that they were clapping and stuff, but that does not mean he was still doing this regardless. But I don't know. I don't know if there's been a statement released by the SEC yet or what. I feel like the officiating for Auburn has been really negative towards them in their favor. It's not been in their favor at all. But you don't want your games to depend on all that. Like I said, Auburn didn't score in the second half. Is that the ref's fault? I mean, it is that they were mentally crushed, but, you got to score, You got to play defense. You got to prevent Georgia from scoring. I still think the officiating was awful, but it is what it is,
So, yeah, I don't see how Georgia got out of all that. I mean, you lose the touchdown for Auburn. You give him an extra timeout pretty much for them to actually run the play. I don't get it. But anyways, Georgia wins 20-10 over Auburn. Their only loss right now is at home to Alabama. So we'll see if they can do what they do at home against Ole Miss. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. LSU with a 20-10 win over South Carolina. USC over Michigan 31-13. Florida State falls to Pitt 34-31. I think that's what you were mentioning earlier, is in Alabama's Florida State loss just keeps looking worse and worse. But you know who keeps looking better and better, Jacob?
Who?
UCLA, 38-13 win over Michigan State. Michigan State is a poverty program. Let's just say that right now. They're not the Michigan State that we've seen over the last decade. But still, a 38-13 win. Back-to-back wins for UCLA after starting 0-4. Nico is doing his thing over there on the West Coast. They beat Penn State last week. Penn State now loses again to Northwestern, 22-21. James Franklin gets fired. They promote Terry Smith as the interim head coach. Really don't know who that is, but best of luck to him. But not only does Penn State lose the game, Penn State loses their head coach. Penn State also loses starting quarterback Drew Aller, who is now out for the season, what looked to be a broken ankle, a dislocated ankle, something. He was getting tackled, and it looked like one of those hip drop tackles that they're banning in the NFL, or they have tried to ban in the NFL. It's something that's really hard for the referees to call, but that is one of the reasons why they're banning it, is because it's very dangerous for the ball carrier to get tackled like that. So Penn State, their season is in ruins. Go ahead and punt the ball and just get ready for next year. They started out in the preseason number 2 in the AP top 25. They fell out of the AP poll last week with Texas. Both of them lost. Now they've got a bye week to try to figure some things out. I don't know who their backup quarterback will be, who gets promoted as the starting quarterback. But, yeah, Penn State is in shambles right now. And that's about all I've got to say about that.
Well, UCLA's kind of done that whole rally behind the program type deal.
Yep.
The coach has been fired. So it's kind of cool.
Maybe Penn State can do that as well. UCLA lost their head coach, but they did not lose their starting quarterback. So Penn State's going to have to figure something out as they.
Go ahead. You know who I'm shocked to see in the top 25?
Who's that?
Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia is. They've only got one loss on the year. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Virginia, Florida State's out. South Florida is right there behind Virginia. USC's there. Texas is at 21. Memphis is at 22. Utah is there, and then Cincinnati's finally gotten in.
We'll just go over the new top 25 poll that was released yesterday. Ohio State, Miami still stay at 1 and 2. Indiana, undefeated, moves up to number 3 from the 7 spot after that win in Oregon. Texas A&M at number 4. Ole Miss at number 5. Alabama 6. Undefeated Texas Tech at 7, which I don't think they've played anybody just yet. Number 8, Oregon. Number 9, Georgia. LSU rounds out the top 10. Tennessee at 11. Georgia Tech at 12. Notre Dame 13. Oklahoma at 14. And BYU at 15. And then 16 through 20 is Missouri, Vanderbilt, Virginia. USF is back in it. I guess they were ranked last week too. Maybe they never fell out. And then USC at number 20. And Texas makes their return to the top 25 at number 21. Memphis at 22, Utah at 23, Cincy at 24, and Nebraska rounds out the top 25.
3 Tennessee teams.
Yeah, Memphis, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee. That's right. I wonder when the last time that happened was.
Yeah,
It's probably never happened, honestly. But yeah, so that is week 7 of college football. Jacob, we are moving way too fast through the football season. I will say that right now.
I know, dude. It sucks, but hey, I'm loving it. Every weekend is amazing. It seems like ever since the second week, it's been even better. I think that second week there was like not a lot of good matchups, but after that it's been really good. And even like the smaller ones, North Texas versus South Florida on
that
Friday,
was a banger.
That was. I mean, they kind of pulled away in the second half, but it was still really good up until that point. So
yeah, you can't sleep on the
season.
North Texas Mean Green. All right, don't sleep on them. College football week 8 slate coming up. We have one down in Miami. Number 2 Hurricanes host Louisville in an ACC matchup. Miami minus 12.5 point favorites. I'd say they take care of business. Do they cover? I don't know. Louisville's kind of sneaky good whenever they show up to play. Anything on that one? Any predictions? Do you have any thoughts?
Just gave Miami to. I don't see why Miami would lose that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll cover, though.
Number 10, LSU at number 17, Vanderbilt. The Vanderbilt Commodores are minus 2.5 point favorites.
This would be a huge win for Vanderbilt.
This will be program defining for Vanderbilt.
Yeah. It really would be. Give me Vanderbilt. I like that.
I'll take LSU in this one.
I think Pavia's gonna have a good bounce back game. I mean, he was probably the main reason they lost versus Alabama. So
thinking Vanderbilt had a bye week too, so maybe they're a little extra prepared. LSU's
or
coming
sluggish.
off that. Yeah, very true. LSU's coming off a 10-point win over South Carolina. They're ranked number 10, and now play at number 17 Vanderbilt. I'll take the 2.5 points with LSU. Number 14, Oklahoma now makes the trip to South Carolina. Oklahoma minus 4.5 point favorites. Do you think John Mateer has a bounce back game? Maybe he doesn't throw 3 interceptions this week.
I mean, Oklahoma literally goes from 6. They drop 8 spots. And they lost by 20-something points?
17.
It felt like a lot more. But regardless, I don't know. I feel like 14 is a pretty generous ranking for them.
They still have one of the best defenses in the country. They held, Texas to 3 points for at least much of the first half. I think Texas was able to open up the scoring a little bit in that second half. But Oklahoma defense is very good still, and South Carolina's offense is still struggling. Although South Carolina is at home, Oklahoma should be the favorites in that one. But I might take South Carolina plus the 4.5.
I may, yeah. I mean, it's a battle of the mid right here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's very mid-tier matchup.
South Carolina is going to be looking for a spark and a big win at some point. They don't play Tennessee, so we don't have to worry about them at all. But yeah, I like South Carolina to keep it close at home. Then we've got number 4, Texas A&M at Arkansas. Aggies minus 7.5 point favorites on the road.
That could be a good one. I mean, we'll really see. This will be another game. Like I said, it'll prove how good Texas A&M really is. So,
yeah, I think Marcel Reed has a great game, and I think this line should be more like 9.5 or so for Texas A&M. The fact that it is at Arkansas brings it down a little bit, and the fact that Arkansas had a very close loss to Tennessee in Neyland Stadium, the fact that they kept it competitive on the road, even though it really shouldn't have been. I feel like people are buying a little bit of stock into Arkansas with this line, so I'll take Texas A&M on the road minus 7.5. I don't really like laying points like that, but that's kind of my prediction.
Okay.
And then we have another battle between the hedges. Number 9, Georgia, minus 6.5 point favorites at home against number 5, Ole Miss. What do you think about this one? I mean, Georgia is still Georgia, but I mean, they're winning games, but every game that they win seems to be a nail biter.
Yeah. But I mean, Ole Miss too.
Yeah, very true.
Give me Ole Miss though. I think Ole Miss is I think they'll at least cover. I think they'll win. But if I was betting, But if I was betting, because I mean, last year they beat Georgia, so I need to see Georgia prove me wrong.
Now that we're getting late into October, we need to start looking at the SEC rankings and what, as long as Tennessee wins, Tennessee does need to win this week, but
every week.
If Tennessee can win this week, we control our own destiny as far as the rest of the season goes. And not only do we control our destiny for the college football playoffs, but we could still put ourselves in a position to have a shot at the SEC championship game, which is something that hasn't happened since 2007, I think it was, when we lost to LSU, who ended up winning the national championship that year. So looking at it from that point of view, if Georgia were to lose, that would give them 2 conference losses, but Ole Miss would be undefeated. So I'm going to take – it wouldn't surprise me if Ole Miss keeps it close with the way Georgia's been playing, but I'll take Georgia to win that game. So that'll keep both of those teams with 1 loss now. That'll probably drop Ole Miss back a little bit and move Tennessee up. But nothing matters if we lose to Alabama this weekend. We also have you called a game the Battle of the Mid earlier. This is a battle of the bottom. Mississippi State at Florida. Florida somehow at home, even though they are at home, somehow minus 9.5 point favorites in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame them. I mean, they beat Texas at home. So, I mean, it's the swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Mississippi State's that good to go on the road and beat Florida. I mean, I don't know. I think 9.5 is kind of a lot, though, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, Mississippi State did lose to Texas A&M a couple weeks ago. I think they were on a bye this past week, getting ready for Florida, who just lost to Texas A&M. So both of these teams with coming off losses to the Aggies. Florida kept it closer than Mississippi State did. Both of those games were on the road for those teams at Kyle Field. So Mississippi State at Florida. Give me Fluff Bothwell to cover, buddy. Give me Fluff.
I like it.
Mississippi State plus 9.5. I'll take it.
Yeah, I like that.
Then freshly back into the AP Top 25, we got number 21 Texas playing at Kentucky. Longhorns minus 12.5 point favorites.
This should, I don't know. I mean, it seems like Texas will probably capitalize off of that good win versus Oklahoma. I don't see Kentucky really doing anything productive versus Texas.
Yeah, give me Texas to cover minus 12.5. I I don't have any respect for Kentucky and what they're doing up there. They absolutely stink. So, yeah, I'll take Texas. This will probably be the only time I'm pulling for Texas to cover. But a top 20 showdown in South Bend, Indiana. Number 20 USC travels to number 13 Notre Dame. Fighting Irish -7.5.
They need this one, dude. If they lose, then I don't see them. Of course, I mean, you would think it'd be common sense they wouldn't make the college football playoff, but the fact that they're ranked in the top 25 as an 0-2 team makes me kind of think otherwise. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but they definitely do need it. I think so.
The pollsters, the people that control the rankings are trying their best to keep Notre Dame alive in the playoffs. I mean, they're 4-2. Their first their losses came in the first 2 games of the season. But as I'm looking through the rankings, the only other team that I see that's in the top 25 with 2 losses is Texas. And Texas is ranked number 21, and Notre Dame is somehow ranked number 13. Although those 2 losses both came to, now top 5 teams. They lost on the road to Miami in the first game, and then in the second game lost at home to Texas A&M in just an absolute fireworks showdown.
They look better and better. The losses do look better and better.
The losses look better and better, and Notre Dame has also looked better and better with their wins. But, I mean, they have no more opportunities for, other than, I guess you could say, this USC game, they have no other opportunities for big, what's the word I'm looking for? Something about the wins. What's the word that they always use? Not moral wins, but I don't know. It left me. Talking about making the playoffs, they look at the teams with the quality wins. I think that's maybe what I'm looking for. Anyways.
Weighted wins. I don't know.
I'll take USC to cover +7.5 in that one. Nope.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. USC is good when they show up. They lost to Illinois 2 weeks ago. Just beat Michigan 31-13, but I don't think Michigan is that good. They're now out of the top 25 after that loss. So,
dude, real quick, we have a good. It's what is it? What's that called? Where
chemistry?
No, where 2 paths are gonna meet. It's
intersection.
What's it called? No, it's like they're over here. It's like we don't have to put this in the pod really, but just say something's over here, and at some point a collision course.
And there it is. So, we're struggling today for whatever reason.
The American Conference, dude. They are on a big collision course. They're going to start eating each other alive because they have Navy. They're going to be playing Memphis. They're going to be playing South Florida, North Texas. Like they're all undefeated except North Texas. It's about to be a good little showdown. I'm looking forward to that. And Notre Dame plays Navy too.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Navy this year could pull it off. I'm not saying they will, but there's a chance.
I don't like it, but I'll take USC +7.5 in that game. Then we see Missouri, who only fell, I guess, 2 spots after that loss to Alabama at home. Let's see if I can find them. Yep. They were ranked number 14 last week, undefeated. Now lost to Alabama. Now they're at 16. They're back on the road at Auburn. Auburn -1.5 point favorites in a pick'em game.
I like Auburn for this one.
You think so? You think that showing against Georgia, I mean, it was a 10-point loss, but it was still a very competitive game that a couple things go their way, they have a good shot to win that game.
It's all, towards the end, Jackson Arnold, it seemed like he'd never thrown a football in his life before. So,
did he throw any interceptions in that game?
I don't remember.
Because if not, he still has, I think, the longest active streak of passing attempts without an interception. And I can't remember what the number was.
I thought he did at the end of the game, but I may be wrong. I know, well, maybe it was fourth down and they didn't get it or something. But yeah,
I'll take Missouri in a bounce back spot on the road. Give me Missouri money line. And then we have...
He didn't throw an interception. It was a fourth down that they didn't convert, is what I was thinking of.
And then we have the third Saturday in October. Number 11, Tennessee at number 6, Alabama. Jacob, the line is -9.5 for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
Do you think Alabama wins by double digits, or do we keep it close?
No, dude. I think it's going to be our. I think our offense is going to come. I'm getting real happy thinking about it. I'd love if our offense came out and just matched every Alabama possession with a score. Every time they score, we go down the field and we get some short completions, maybe a long ball here and there. But ultimately, I think it'll turn into who's going to kick the last field goal. So,
you think this is going to be kind of a close game? Like, I mean, 2 years ago was the last time we played in Tuscaloosa. That was a game, I think we were up 20-7 at halftime and then just absolutely fell apart in the second half with, you remember Joe Milton and Squirrel White and those boys. I don't know. This is a head scratcher. Hopefully we can pick Ty Simpson off once or twice, maybe force some fumbles, because we're very good at getting to the quarterback. We're very good at creating pressure in the backfield, whether it's a run or a pass. Jam Miller is going to be questionable going into this. This game as we're recording here Monday afternoon, so who knows on that side of things, like what we'll see from Alabama in the running game. I will say, in the games they played this year without Jam Miller, their running offense has not been that great. Ty Simpson is he's a mobile quarterback. He's not the fastest. He's not Lamar Jackson out there, but he is very, very good at keeping plays alive, breaking tackles in the backfield, and lowering his shoulder going for the first down. And so that is something that we'll have to keep an eye out, keep Ty in the pocket and force some pressure, get in his face a little bit, and then it'll come down to our secondary. That's what I feel like. I feel like this is a game, especially if Jam Miller does not play, this is a game where our defense will be able to hopefully stop the run with our front seven. Kalen DeBoer is actually very good at calling plays. He's gotten, what's his name? Jalen Proctor, the offensive lineman. Whether he's running the ball or catching passes out wide, they throw him into the mix. Big number 74 for Alabama. This is going to be a game where Tennessee has scored 40 points in every game except for this weekend against Arkansas. If we can score 30, I like our chances. If we can score between 24 to 28 points, I still like our chances. But it's going to be tough for us to win if Alabama is scoring in the 20 to 30 point range, which I think they will do. 9.5 is way too many points for the number one scoring offense in the nation to lose by. I think 60% of the money is on Tennessee to cover, so a little bit in Tennessee's favor in that one as far as the public goes. But if we lose by double digits, I don't think we make the playoffs. If we lose and keep it close, we still got a shot. And if we win, our destiny is in our hands. It's ours to control. How do you see this one going, Jacob?
Well, you kind of alluded to it. I like the idea of us trying to make them a one-dimensional offense. If we can stop their running game, make Ty Simpson beat you by picking you apart, and
which he can do.
And he can, and that would suck, but you don't want them to be just in such complete control that any play that they're going to throw, it's going to bust our defense. So I do agree. I hope that we can stop the run. I would honestly, I'd put a spy on Ty, if I'm being honest, because at any moment when our edge rushers are going to go around him and pressure him, I don't see him not taking off down the center and gaining a first down a couple times. So I think you got to have someone watching him, mildly. You don't have to have like a dedicated spy. Like you said, he's not Lamar Jackson. No one is, but
very true.
He's definitely elusive enough. He was probably the only reason that Alabama versus Florida State, it wasn't more of a blowout than what it was, because he used his feet. And he's gotten way better to where he can throw on the run as well. So it's going to be a tough game. I think, man, I really hope it comes down to who's kicking the field goal, and I hope it's Max Gilbert trying to redeem himself.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
I hope Max Gilbert kicks a 55-yarder walk-off off the left hash for the game.
There will be cigars. There will be cigar smoke in the air no matter how this game ends. But if it's Alabama, you'll see it on TV. And if it's Tennessee, you'll see it in pictures and videos in the locker room. But this is going to be a matchup. Joey Swagular, Ty Simpson. I think Ty is a better pocket passer. Both guys are players that can keep a play alive, extend the play, and gain some yards, maybe pick up some first downs with their feet. But when it comes to the big plays, when it comes to the 20-plus yard plays, the bombs down the sideline, a wide receiver being wide open down the field, I think that plays into Joey's hands a little bit better than Ty. But the receivers are going to have to do their job, and Heupel is going to have to do his job in scheming up plays to get those big open receivers down the field. Those big shots.
It's honestly kind of equal when you think about it. Ty, Joey, they're pretty similar. And then Chris Brazzell, and Ryan Williams. Chris Brazzell's a little taller, I think, but regardless, they have their favorite guys they want to pass to. Ryan Williams hasn't been the biggest factor this year.
Nope.
So
he has not. Brazzell only had one catch for 5 yards against Arkansas, so he's going to be looking to come out and have a makeup game or a get back game, get right game against Alabama this weekend. But
our
Bama's
special teams has to be on point too. Like, you cannot have Mike Matthews down there trying to get the punt. No offense, 5-star Mike, you're great, but we'll just put Boo Carter back there, man. I trust him a lot more than Mike when it comes to that stuff. You have to be tight with everything. Pause, but you still got to be a well-oiled machine. Maybe that's a pause too. But regardless, you have to be at a point where you're not getting beat on the little stuff. You're gonna need a Herculean effort to beat you. That's what your attitude needs to be. You cannot have all these self-inflicted wounds. So, it's just going to come down to discipline and execution.
Jacob, final score predictions.
52-49. Max Gilbert walk-off 55-yarder game-winning field goal.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
What's yours?
I'm going to say Alabama 34, Tennessee 27. That's my prediction.
Wow, that's heartbreaking.
You know what happens when we both agree. So,
You could at least go to overtime or something, make it a 6-point, win, or something, or a 3-point win, where we kick a field goal and then they get a touchdown or something.
I'll say,
it's just convincing. That's it.
I'll say 34. I think 34-27.
Okay.
And hopefully I'm wrong.
I respect it.
I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot of the time. I'm wrong most of the time. So let's see how it happens.
Who's gonna have a bigger game? You think this is a game for Ty Simpson or Joey? Each one has something to prove and to gain out of it. But who do you think is gonna have the bigger game ultimately?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Ty, obviously, but I think it just depends on the Alabama defense. I think if You think back to the last time Tennessee's offense looked this explosive was 2022. You think back to that game against Alabama, 52-49 win, and you think of Jalen Hyatt having that game that he did. But the reason he had that game was he was wide open every time he got the ball. And I think it was 6 catches, 5 touchdowns, over 200 yards, well over 200 yards. I think it was around 250. But I mean, he was wide open every time. That's why that happened. And it's going to come down to Alabama's defense and secondary to see if, these players, these wide receivers, Chris Brazzell, who's had an outstanding year minus, last week, 1 catch for 5 yards. We got Mike Matthews, who's going to be looking to make big plays. Braylon Staley, who's had a great come-out season this year for the Vols. And I just feel like Tennessee, if Alabama lets these wide receivers get wide open, then Joey Aguilar is going to have a better game than Ty. But it also, works the other way as well, because if our secondary's, letting up a bunch of yards again, or our defense is letting up a bunch of yards in total. I mean, we let up 496 yards to Arkansas this week. So that can't happen. But I think that plays into why the line is -9.5 for Alabama.
But also, I mean, Ty Simpson ain't gonna scramble like Taylen Green. I mean, the thing is, we want to make it extremely difficult for Ty Simpson to do anything. Like I said, he doesn't have the feet like Taylen did, but if he feels uncomfortable in the pocket, then that's gonna be good for us. But if he's just able to sit there and poke holes in our secondary, then I don't see us winning.
Yeah, no,
because he's going to make the right play.
Yeah, Ty's always going to make the right play. He takes
care of the ball.
He's only thrown 1 interception all year. So
yeah, and I don't even remember if that was an egregious interception either. It may have been like tipped or something. I don't remember.
It was. I think maybe the first or second drive against Vanderbilt for Alabama.
Oh yeah.
But I can't remember exactly how the play happened, but he's only thrown 1 this whole season. So hopefully, he'll have 5 interceptions by the time this game's over.
Yeah,
but
hopefully.
Yeah. So Jacob, as we wrap up episode 44 here on $1 Million Radio, big week, 3rd Saturday in October coming up. Do you have any final words or song pick of the week for yourself?
Can I do a movie pick rather than a song?
Yeah, go ahead, man. It's got to have a good soundtrack. No, I'm joking.
I don't think it does. It's The Smashing Machine. I know it sounds ridiculous, but
did you go see that one?
I did. It's with The Rock, and it's so good because I forgot I was watching The Rock play a character.
Yeah.
He's fully immersed in the character, and it's a real person too. It's like the Mark Kerr.
Mark Kerr, yeah.
Yeah, and Mark Coleman. It's about him as well. It's got I think, what's the dude's name? Ryan Vader, is that his name? I think he was a UFC
Couldn't
fighter.
tell you. I don't remember.
But he plays Mark Coleman, and it's just a really good movie. I'd totally recommend it because by the end of it, it actually shows the real Mark Kerr, and it shows how popular the UFC is nowadays.
Yeah,
and it tells you a lot of people don't even know who Mark Kerr is. I didn't even know who he was. So it goes to show how much of a pioneer these guys were for what we have today in the UFC and MMA in general. So The Smashing Machine is what I'd recommend.
I'm gonna have to go watch that.
I think you'd like it because you've been getting into UFC. It's Ryan Bader. He plays Mark Coleman.
Okay.
So.
Speaking of watching, my song pick of the week is going to be Watch Your Mouth by the Backseat Lovers.
Oh, my God. Did you go to a college frat party?
No, bro. I'd forgotten about it, and I listened to it the other day, and it was nice.
That was probably incredibly rude. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But it's just okay. No, actually, no. Kill Me Girl is what's played at every frat party. Where it's like da 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 da. So hey, Backseat Lovers. That's a good band.
You have any final words for us, Jacob?
Man, it's going to be a good week. I hope that the Vols do not ruin my weekend.
I agree. But so Tennessee, Alabama this weekend, third Saturday in October. This is going to be with all the marbles on the line. Both teams with one loss. Alabama's one loss was out of conference. Tennessee's one loss came to Georgia a few weeks ago. So whoever wins this game will have a great shot at making the college football playoffs and maybe even still a great shot at making the SEC championship game. Although we still have Texas A&M, Ole Miss undefeated there at the top of the conference. But yeah,
I think some upsets are going to happen this week.
I would like to see that happen. I just want pure chaos this week. I would love to see that.
That's how I am. I'm a contrarian. I just love when everything falls apart, like how it's not supposed to.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. Episode 44, $1 Million Radio. Don't forget to check us out on TikTok, Instagram, all social media at MD Minds. MDminds.com, where you can find the latest episodes and videos, as well as merch if you'd like to support the boys over here at $1 Million Radio. So go check us out online. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe as well. That helps us out more than you guys know. And that'll do it. Episode 44, $1 Million Radio. And as always, we'll see you next time.